Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We are now into the fourth and final hour. Political prisoner Charlie Veitch, arrested twice at the G20, will be joining us. There's now press reports of police threatening to rape women in the jail cells, reporters, and of women being raped by jail guards / police. It's now openly being announced days after the G20 bankers met and extracted $1.2 billion out of the slaves for their security. And, of course, there'll be interest paid to the bankers on that $1.2 billion as well. It's just so good for them because we buy every scam put before us. I'm just surprised they actually sent Madoff to prison. I mean, he's one of their top ringleaders. Just a bunch of Ken Lay Madoffs, and I guess they're going to take everything over just because we're idiots. Dollar should be replaced as international standard. UN report says a SDR run by the IMF and World Bank, and again, we will pay a tax to it to fund the operation. That's CNN. Here's another one. New York Times now admitting we're in a depression, the third depression. Here's one out of the London Telegraph. RBS tells clients prepare for monster money printing by the Federal Reserve. Before they get rid of the dollar, you'll still have it, kind of like they have, currency in Zimbabwe or the peso in Mexico. And this is a plan. They do this over and over again in other countries. They're going to totally run up the dollar and totally inflate it, destroying all your savings. It's over. If we let them complete this operation, I mean, they are hacking America up. America's already got machete wounds all over it. Blood just spilling out. And we might be able to save the country, maybe. But you know what? It feels too good to go down, doesn't it? There's kind of a deep-seated sickness in America. We killed 50 million babies, and the average subconscious mind is so powerful it wants to die. The average American wants to fail and just wants to wallow into maggots and just implode. I mean, consciously people don't want that, but subconsciously there's a self-loathing, a self-hate, kind of like people want to fail. They don't have a stand up and fight attitude anymore. A large portion of the public. Now, if any of you want to save your families and save the society and not go into pure bondage, we have to ignore the 30-40% that just love tyranny. And we have to ignore the other 30% or so that suck their thumbs. And the other 30% of us that know what's going on, we're just going to have to stand up, be leaders, and take the society back. But RBS tells clients to prepare for monster money printing by the Federal Reserve. As recovery starts to stall in the U.S. and Europe, with echoes of the mid-1931, bond experts are once again dusting off a speech by Ben Bernanke giving 8 years ago as a freshman governor of the Federal Reserve, where he talked about how they'd hyperinflate the dollar. Now, you noticed 2 years ago when they were getting ready for the banker bailout, banker takeover, I told you that by 2002, the stimulus would run out, that was really a wealth transfer to the central banks, and that it would only make things worse. And now we're here. And that they were lying about the unemployment numbers and lying about inflation. And now that they've suckered you good, they're getting ready to sucker you again and say, oh, we've got a reform package. Oh, but Senator Byrd died. He was the vote we needed. Oh, don't worry. And they're all over the news. Will the banks get punished for what they did? The American people demand. They've got all these housewives and, six-pack guys on the news. What do you think, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jones? What do you think, Mr. Brown? Well, I tell you, I just want these banks to be brought to justice. It's not fair, and I'm glad Obama's in there about to bring these banks to justice with this new bank tax, and that he's going to get the Federal Reserve in there, the federal government. Federal Reserve is not the federal government, but in there to take action against these banks after what they did, and they cut back to Anderson Cooper. Yeah, it is good to see something being done. Anderson, admittedly, CIA Cooper. I mean, but the good news is these globalists are running out of gas. Yeah, they're in control, but they're revealing themselves in the takeover. And they're losing all their viewers and all their credibility. I mean, that Washington Post article, last Friday that I've covered so much here, where it said, yeah, it's $600 trillion in derivatives, and yeah, the Federal Reserve is going to be given total power over everything. That'll teach the banks. I mean, it's like saying we're going to let Hitler in 1935 just be planetary ruler, and that'll keep him under control. We're going to fix the illegal alien problem by just legalizing them all. I mean, that's what they do.
The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElvaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get the tools you need to protect your family from these difficult times. The Fall of America and the Western World at www.thefallofamerica.net or click on the banners at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Again, that website's www.thefallofamerica.net or call 800-655-1577. Prepare yourself and the ones you love today. Fallofamerica.net. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Alex Jones here with urgent information concerning trendsresearch.com. The Trends Journal distills the voluminous ongoing research of the Trends Research Institute into a concise, readily accessible form. By tracking 300 separately defined domestic and international trends, the Trends Journal establishes the connections that others fail to see or misinterpret. Gerald Salente's Trends Journal allows you to anticipate change, recognize the implications, and take protective strategies. Individual readers from every walk of life can put the Trends Journal, Trends Forecast, and Trends Analysis to practical use. Extra information to keep you well informed throughout the year when any current event of major social, economic, or political significance occurs. Trends Journal notifies its subscribers of their implications. When you subscribe to the Trends Journal, you'll also receive Trends Alerts. Visit trendsresearch.com today. That's trendsresearch.com. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. This information is too important to wait.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
The top story on the Drudge Report today is a Politico article where members of Congress, Republican members, are not allowed to go to the Gulf and look at the damage. And the Democrats are allowed to and are having paid trips. Oil spill visits get partisan, and they are not allowed to go visit. So not only are the citizens not allowed to go visit, but everybody else is not allowed to visit. And you've got international waters out there, Taiwanese, Dutch, Norwegian, others. One Taiwanese ship can scoop up 500,000 barrels a day. That is an incredible number. That's the Associated Press reporting that, and Obama is still blocking it. But now, because the pressure is so high, they're saying these hurricanes are going to blow all this oil in. Why for 70-plus days have you been blocking countries from helping? You want this to be worse so you can get your carbon tax. He's saying, okay, in the next month, I'm going to have lawyers look at it, and if these companies can jump through all these hoops that are impossible, then I'll let foreign governments do this. They've agreed to let 12 foreign governments or corporations help. But BP is in international waters. Why is BP in international waters then on our shores telling media and governors and Congress people